Be careful what you tweet because it could cost you millions of dollars in a fine. In a precedent case, actor James Woods has filed a $10 million lawsuit at the LA Superior Court against a Twitter user who tweeted a message calling him a cocaine addict. Now, the tweeter had been calling James names such as Clown Boy for quite a while now, but when he named him a cocaine addict, Woods announced that he is taking his internet troller to court over defamation of character. Now, here's the tweet. Let's have a look at it. The user is called Abe List, and he said this. He said, "Cocaine addict James Woods still sniffing and spouting." Now, Woods isn't necessarily the best tweeter himself. He had recently been tweeting some comments about Caitlyn Jenner, still calling her Bruce. He's mean too. Also referring to the Planned Parenthood baby parts market. So, you know, he hasn't been the kindest character himself. Slightly hypocritical goings on here. But the difference is that Wood claims he's never been a cocaine addict and that this could cost him his reputation and career. So he is suing this Twitter user, a man on the street, just a man behind a computer screen like many other people out there, for $10 million. A precedent case here.
Woo! I mean, if you're hiding behind a computer screen, does that necessarily legally protect you? I guess we'll have to wait and see. You're right about the precedents there, but he is a celebrity, Joe. I mean, there is a certain expectation that you're going to be satirized, humiliated, you know, reached out for, if not stalked by the paparazzi, hated on, trolled. This comes with the territory, and many would argue that that's actually the price you pay for being famous. At what point does your private life, that line sort of run through where you're no longer this public figure and you are a person with individual rights? You know, we did see a case though coming out of Texas in 2012 where a couple, they actually sued and won for $12 million after being trolled on a forum called Topics. It's a really heinous site. I don't know if you've seen it, but it allows anonymous people to go onto this forum and say whatever they want to about you. This couple, they were called child molesters, drug users. They were awarded $12 million for that, so he might have a case here.
Wow, $12 million, that is a lot of money. I almost want to set something up. However, you know, you do raise the point about public figures putting themselves in these positions. It is a question of what rights people have to protect themselves online, and it's the age-old problem of paparazzi harassment, but in this case, digital paparazzi of types. And this is what killed Diana at the end of the day. But you know, talking about the fact that he's a celebrity, he's put himself in this position, this also therefore means that the amount of money he earns, the career possibilities, the potential ruin of his career, the stakes are higher, and that means that he's able to sue this man on the street for $10 million, a sum that very likely he can't afford. You know, internet trolls, they are a big problem, but the results of this case just will very likely affect the freedom of people out there, the people who watch our show, for example. It will probably make people aware of what they write, knowing that they can be sued.
Right, and people also are under the assumption that that's anonymous. You know, your IP address isn't anonymous. It does leave a footprint in, you know, in several cases. I mean, I don't know how that would work if you were using like a public library computer, but, you know, at the end of the day, you're not as anonymous as you think you are. And so, you know, this man who was doing this to him, calling him a joke, ridiculous, scum, clown boy, you know, these really mean things that resulted in a smear campaign, you know, he was doing it behind the safety. Something about that screen gives people a feeling of safety and security to say whatever they want to. And I'm all for, you know, a successful suit for James here because, you know, that's a really nasty, nasty personality trait, and perhaps the internet shouldn't be this free-for-all.
Perhaps it should be a deterrent. Well, here's what James had to say about the case. He said, AL, referring to the tweeter, and anyone else using social media to propagate lies and do harm should take note. They are not impervious to the law. So, what do you think at home about this? Will it affect the way that you tweet? Will it affect the way you write comments? Will you worry that perhaps you could be sued for up to $10 million, depending on who it is that you might write something about? Is it worrying, or do you think that this is disgusting that Woods is actually able to sue a man for a comment he wrote on the internet? Let us know your thoughts in the space below, and please keep subscribing to The Lip TV for more.